Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is going to be the WCS finals for Singapore's national. My name is Phoenix.
And I'm ALT Shippy.
And we'll be your commentators for this grand finals.
Yep, and over here we have two very profound Zerg players. In the bottom right we have Flash Revenant, who many consider to be the favourite for this tournament, playing as the Orange Zerg.
Yeah, I mean, he's a huge fan favourite. I mean, there's a lot of Warcraft 3 experience behind him, now making the transition to StarCraft 2. And his opponent's much younger, but a very up-and-coming player, putting in a lot of hard work. I mean, this guy is just mechanically very, very straightforward. It's going to be Yekke.
Yeah, Yekke playing in the top left as the Green Zerg. I mean, he's seen by many as one of the huge up-and-coming players of Singapore. He just came out of nowhere and he actually won the recent SMU Cup in Singapore.
Basically, he was unknown until about maybe 6 months ago, and he basically just came and just wiped the floor. And it was very interesting to meet him on the floor, and you get to talk to him, even his analysis of the game. I mean, this guy has a good head on his shoulders.
Yep. I mean, it's really quite an interesting matchup, because on one hand we have a player who is considered by many to be one of the long-time veterans of the RTS scene in Singapore, and on the other hand we have someone who just came out of nowhere, and he's new to RTS and he's just sort of working his way up, and he's done so quick. I mean, many consider him to be on par with all the top players in Singapore now, if not better.
And just ironically, Singapore does have a lot of Zergs, and both Zergs are macro players. There we go. We are going to get the first drone out by Revenant, going to get his early hatch. But it looks that Yekke is going to open up the same way and drop spawning pool first. And an interesting point to note is these two have already met. And Yekke took a game off Revenant, and it was exactly on this map. Ohana and Yekke opened up spawning pool first.
Yeah, so maybe he feels that he can repeat the same thing again, but Revenant might be prepared for it this time.
I mean, just look for Yekke. Yekke has very, very nice building placement. He's going to put a spine crawler right near that mineral patch, and then he's going to wall it off with a Baneling Nest and an Evo Chamber, denying Revenant's Baneling Bus early game, and basically after that just transitioned to Roche and was able to force a win out of Revenant.
Yeah. I mean, at this point it just looks like Yekke, it doesn't look like he's going to do any early aggression with the earlier spawning pool. I mean, he just has a slightly later hatch, but at the same time he'll have earlier queens for that faster injects.
Yep. And both overlords are posturing around. I'm going to see this overlord most likely going to go to the gas. Yes, he is going to go to the gas. Main reason is you want to spot when is he making that transition into lair. You really want to see when is that third and fourth gas timing. But so far, Revenant does already have his gas starting to mine. Yekke only just starting his gas, and I once again, this is what Revenant did the last game, getting a very, very early speed, but just didn't really do very much with it.
Yeah, I mean, both Zerg players, I think it looks like they're just trying to gauge each other, and neither one really wants to play the aggressive role at this point in time.
No, it's too easily counted, really. I mean, early game, just a couple handful of lings, drones can do very well with them, and both queens are on the way. And once the queen gets up, that's a lot of health and armor for Zergling the Choo.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're just trying to make the minimum amount of units now. So you see, each player actually just makes one set of Zerglings, just to scout.
Yep, Yekke doing the little ring around the rosies, definitely clicked on that extractor. He's going to see that at least 100 gas has been used up already. He's just going to come over here just to check that spawning pool. That should be vibrating like a jacuzzi very soon. There it goes. And yeah, Yekke's going to know that speed's on the way. His own speed is just coming online. And so far, it's pretty much the same, even though they open up slightly different.
Yeah, so now it's just going to be a matter of, the strats that they choose to take, and hold your horses. Revenant actually just drops the Baneling Nest,
yes.
So we might see something interesting coming from him.
I mean, that's a very early Baneling Nest. Immediately Yekke responding with his own, and the question is did Yekke see that Baneling Nest? He's just gonna really, really tell. Yes, he does see the Baneling Nest, so
he may have just dropped his own Baneling Nest in reaction to this Baneling Nest.
Oftentimes Zerg players are like wondering, do I try to get a little bit more macro out and just make the transit straight into roaches, or do I have to go for this intermediary step to get banelings? And Yekke seeing that response, Revenant also, both of them knowing that banelings are most likely on the way, getting the defensive spine, and really that's exactly what you need to counter banelings in the early game. 2 pokes on that spine crawler and it can save a lot of drones.
Yeah, I mean, both players at this point, they just don't want to overcommit to units.
Yep, that's that wall off I was talking about from Yekke. Once that queen parks himself at the top of that Baneling's Nest, it is going to be Baneling proof, and allowing Yekke to basically run his drones away up the ramp in case he gets in a bad spot. But otherwise, that's a very nice wall. Revenant doesn't have that wall, and I guess he's just more confident in his micro, and actually being very ballsy, dropping that third base down there in the bottom left.
Yeah, I mean, it looks to me like Yekke is actually making a ton more units than Revenant is.
Yeah, I mean, he's just really concerned about that all in. I mean, Revenant instead drops at third. Yekke does have that overlord overhead. You know, he definitely knows the third has been down. Now the ball is basically in Yekke's court to see if he can deny it.
Yeah, it felt like Yekke saw Revenant's bailing nest and he thought something was coming, so he just made some preemptive units. But Revenant, you know, knowing that he saw the bailing nest, probably just decided, I'm just not going to do anything and build a third.
Here we go, a round of links. Oh, Yekke's gonna have to be very, very careful. The links do swing in. They do actually trap a lot of the links around the corner. And wow, what a nice pickup there by Revenant. Great micro. Forcing those links against the wall, and Yekke is going to be forced onto the back foot. At first, Yekke did have quite an equal number of links, but suddenly that number is very, very small. Revenant has banelings on the way, crawling up to Yekke's own third. Revenant does have quite a lot of banelings though.
Oh, I mean, that looked like a pretty good trade for Revenant there.
Definitely.
He just traded 4 links for 2 banelings.
Yeah, this one link is going to get picked out. Revenant's own banelings coming in for in there. Revenant a little bit missed a micro, losing one baneling there. The baneling desperately trying to chase down Yekke's links, and we're going to be a ring around the rosies here for just a couple more seconds.
Wow, this is some intense link bailing micro here. And it's really hard to see who's going to come out tops, because it's just the small actions from each player that's going to matter now.
Revenant's going to be very, very careful. He does lose his single baneling. There are 2 more banelings down by Yekke. Yekke does pick them all off and immediately makes 4 more defensive banelings. But looking on the production tab, Revenant doesn't even care about those units. He's up on the layer. He's making drones, you know, and you know he's getting his missile upgrades. Thinking that he's most likely wanting to transit into the roaches. Actually, Yekke might play Muta Ling because he's getting the melee upgrades and the armor upgrades for his lings.
I mean, that looks just like an amazing trade for Revenant. Yeah, Yekke lost so many bailings there. I mean, most of the bailings blowing up on 1 or 2 Zerglings maximum. And I mean, in the meantime, while all this has been going on, what's really amazing is Revenant has continued to drone up and tech up. I mean, he just slowly seems to be creeping ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Yekke is investing so much into his army. Now 11 roaches popping up, only 4 roaches coming out from Revenant. Revenant continuing to drone up, you know, getting that miss up +1 attack, getting his 5th gas, and also getting roach speed. I mean, he's completely committing to the transition, but not really making the roaches yet. Spending on it now he's making those roaches. 10 roaches on the way, and yeah, I feel that mechanically it seems that Revenant is a little bit ahead. I mean, Yekke just gets all these roaches right now, but he's not doing anything with them.
Yeah, I mean, so far the trades look pretty even, but it just feels like Revenant is just doing so much more with the same amount of units. And at the same time, he doesn't seem to be slacking at all with his macro back in the base.
Yep, I mean, Yekke is a little bit faster. Hang on the phone, we're having a slight engagement. The banelings are trying to run up into the roaches, trying to do that splash damage. Oh, actually losing 3 banelings for nothing. But a pretty good exchange here. Yekke does have the defender's advantage, and that overlord, brilliant overlord placement there, able to grant a high ground site, forcing Revenant to retreat. And I mean, right now it's just posturing from both teams, trying to get that nice arc, but neither team willing to be in a fight in a disadvantageous spot.
Yeah. I mean, Revenant just reinforcing with so many roaches, while Yekke is still trying to alternate between roaches and drones. As you can see, he's third. He's actually pulling the drones because he actually knows he doesn't have enough roaches to deal with Revenant's army.
Oh, and that rally point in between the third and second base, able to pick off a couple more roaches. He is going to try to get the third. I think if Yekke doesn't step in right now, he might not be able to know the third does go down. And look at that, Revenant knowing he's most likely going to sack those roaches. He's going to try to pull behind the mineral line, force and engage. Is Yekke going to sack his drones? He is going to be forced to sack those drones. I don't think this is the right choice. Right now, he doesn't have enough drones. He might just want to push back into his third, but actually sacking all those drones, actually going to give him the edge. A couple more roaches nicely placed there to stop reinforcements, and right now it looks very, very, very even, and Yekke just might barely be able to clean up this force, but at what cost? His third is down. He's lost so many drones. Revenant's on 3 base, and I mean, he's up 20 food now. That's only going to get higher.
Yeah, I mean, he was able to kill the third. And with that, Yekke not just loses a lot of drones, but he loses a lot of production capability. So it's going to be really difficult at this point for Yekke to just keep up with Revenant in sheer roach numbers. And to add on to that, Revenant is currently about to be producing infestors.
Yeah, I mean, look at that, 56 workers, 245. Revenant's third base mineral patch fully saturated on that 5th gas. Right now, Yekke is working on 4, and that may not seem like much, but in a big battle, like you see, Yekke is producing everything faster. I mean, he's getting his roaches faster, he's getting his infestors faster, his pathogen glands faster, but he's sacking so much economy to get that edge. And then when he gets that edge and the infestors pop out, he doesn't move out with it. So, I mean, right now you see like Revenant is mirroring his moves, but it's always like one inject later. You know, there we go. The overseer on the way. 14 more roaches. Missiles attack 2 on the way, and yeah, I mean, Yekke's at a disadvantage now. It's going to take very, very good placement for him to come back in this game.
Yeah, I mean, he's just so far behind mechanically at this point in time. He just lost so many drones. He lost the hatchery, and Revenant's just going to roll him over with just superior numbers at this point.
Yeah, but don't count Yekke out. Yekke right now is going to have 5 infestors on the field. I think there's only maybe 2 or 3 infestors on Revenant side, and her infestors are pretty good units. So if he gets the money fungos, he cannot actually afford to lose his infestors that way. And infestors are going in front. The infestor does fall. He doesn't have much energy. Great fungos there, but Revenant's own 2 infestors come up and land great fungos. And Yekke again has the defender's advantage. He might be able to pull this through, even though he has lesser numbers. Those were some really, really great fungos. Even beach balls being thrown out. And as the reinforcements come in, I think Yekke's going to be able to hold this.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like he's going to be able to hold this one. But yeah, Revenant's, production capability is just so far ahead now. So it's going to be interesting to see how Yekke plans to come back into this game.
19 roaches on the way, popping out right now. Yekke himself has 12 more roaches on the way. He does have that defender's advantage. Those roaches reaching the front lines so quickly. Yekke is actually trying to sprint forward here, seeing if he can pick up an infestor or 2. And the question is whether Revenant is going to allow it. No, he's actually going to take a lot of strafing fight. Oh, and runs into all his reinforcements. And Revenant's infestors are going to live the fungo another day.
Yep, and Revenant is just producing so many roaches. Another 13 of them coming out at once. And I don't think Yekke's going to be able to hold the next push.
I think Yekke is just slowly being attrition down. Revenant doing the great job here. Actually, immediately sniping both infestors. Right now, infestors only on Revenant's side. Great fungal growth, pulling the roaches back, so they're out of range. So and even blocking off the ramp. And I just don't see how Yekke's going to be able to recover from this. He did not have the economy. Revenant just kept on the pressure.
I mean, just losing those 2 infestors right before he would cast the fungals.
Yeah.
That was just a huge loss for him. Any chance he had of just getting a great position or getting all the units of Revenant in the red health early, I mean, they just went away with the 2 infestors being killed instantly.
Revenant focusing the third right now. He does get the last shot, immediately trying to run away from those broodlings. Look at those number of reinforcements. As actually Revenant is going for the juggling right now, going into the natural. Great micro there, moving his roaches up into the high ground, making sure he has sight, and even Lings. Great choice there by Yekke to bring Lings in. Because they do able to absorb quite a bit of hits for his roaches. He does have quite a bit of lava. He's low on the cash, but he's high on the lava. So making Lings was a pretty good choice, but it's going to be just a little bit too little, too late. As right now the food cost does dip below 70, and Revenant sitting on 150.
Yeah, I mean with that, Yekke calls it a good game with Opal Gundam stuff.
Yeah, all right, and we're gonna go into game 2, and we'll see you guys in the next one.